Hey, so I'm just going to talk to you about Lori Cox Daybell. And when I first thought about this in relation to this person, it's a few months ago, and I knew her as Lori Vallow, who had just been married to Chad Daybell. And I thought, okay, wow, what's her diagnosis going to be? Because she's a very interesting character, and this is going to be very specific diagnosis, isn't it? I think. And it's going to be something that allows her to do a whole lot of things in certain ways. And I wondered if she was Dark Triad. Now, Dark Triad has Machiavellianism, psychopathy, and narcissism. But if someone just say they were a narcissist, or just say they were Machiavellian, or just say they were a psychopath, these things present differently in people that aren't Dark Triad, that just have those sort of those traits. So to be Dark Triad, you've got these three traits working together, and they work in a very specific way, and they present a little bit differently. So yes, I like to speculate. I mean, have you met me? I'm Humanimal. Welcome to the channel. And I'm just going to run through some things that Dr Todd Grande has said, and absolutely goes without saying that nothing that I say or want to discuss in any way reflects on Dr Todd Grande, his profession, his position, his stance on this, his beliefs, his education, his work, his YouTube channel, him personally, him in any form or any way whatsoever. And I think that goes without saying, but let's just make that clear. This is just me listening as a fan of Dr. Todd Grande to things that he has said in a video and thinking, okay, well, would this relate to Lori Cox Daybell as, you know, as we know her, what we know about her? And the video specifically, it was titled something like the subtle signs of Dark Triad. Important to note that when it's psychopathy in the Dark Triad, it's psychopathy 1. So callous, unemotional, superficial charm, pathological liar. And that narcissism might be subclinical, and entitlement, grandiosity, being jealous, arrogant, lack of empathy. And the Machiavellianism, cynical, calculating, good impulse control, goal-orientated, exceptional long-term planning traits. I mean, who is this sounding like already, right? And I'll just mention that Lori Cox Daybell, if you do this for entertainment, or if you really believe in it somehow, or you use it to guide you in your life, you might be interested in East and Western astrology. Lori Cox Daybell is an ox Cancer, a Cancer ox. If anybody is going to be able to steadfastly get planning and carry out that plan, and just nothing is going to stop them, even if things are happening where they doubt, there's any doubt, they will keep going. And who does that remind you of? Lori Cox Daybell. So, subtle signs. How do they react to the good fortune of others? Is their reaction indifferent? Do they minimize others' achievements? Do they say maybe it's because of nepotism, or that, you know, maybe someone because they cheated, or, you know, or because they're a man, not a woman, or whatever it is? Do they try and take credit? Yeah, if it wasn't for my mentorship, that person would never have risen to those lofty heights. How do they take the bad news of others? So Dr. Grande used the example of someone losing their home, and this could have been because maybe they've lost their job or whatever it is. How does this person react? Well, they might want to go and make them a really stupid offer on the home. Like, how can they take advantage in some way? They might say, yeah, his wife's going to leave him too. Cheryl's just so out of there. Or, yeah, I'm really not surprised because Gerald is just useless. So, what do they think? Or do they just say, hey, oh, yeah, interesting, wow. Some people just have it tough, eh? Yeah. Poor listener, so they're getting bored quickly, they're not connecting, there's no reaction, the responses are superficial, they're looking away. And I mean, look, this isn't to say, like in conversation, people do react different ways for lots of reasons, and you know, you've got to exercise your judgment and analytical skills as to why maybe someone's fidgeting or bored or whatever it is, okay? But you know, it's one of these subtle signs. They're really not a good listener. There's no active listening. So you know, you're telling them you went on holiday and the beach was amazing because you'd never seen such white sand. Oh yeah, because I just got back from Vanuatu and my beret was over the water. I barely saw sand. Inflated intrapersonal ability. And they do something called splitting. So light, dark, someone's light or dark. You know, there's no, human nature and this, you know, person's human and this is how people are. They're good, they're bad, they're strong, they're weak. They're light, they're dark. And these Dark Triad people, they're the ones, they can see it. They're the ones that can identify it. And they have that ability. It's, you know, like they can tell someone is lying, they can tell someone is that they've just got the word, they've got that direct line, you know, to complete knowledge. Interestingly, when they are seeing narcissists, they will either, like, you know, okay, narcissism is the one trait that you can recognize, that neurotypical people and everything, you know, you can recognize in another person. You can tell narcissistic traits. It's something you recognize or you sense. And people with the Dark Triad trait, they are very good at either recognizing narcissists and putting them down and wanting to avoid them, and they will rain down on them, or they're just completely oblivious and do not recognize them. And where we might be, well, when I say we, I mean I'm not saying I'm neurotypical, but you know, let's just say regulars or neurotypicals, normals, normies, general pop. The Dark Triad people, they will be absolutely immune to their repulsive behaviour. Yeah, so maybe that's birds of a feather or something. They have wild fantasies, really wild, and this is of everything ideal would be the perfect, amazing love. They might fantasize about ideal crimes. I thought that was really interesting. They might fantasize about the perfect lifestyle with the right followers, with wealth. Everything is selfish and inflated, and they might believe that they are about to gain the power, but interestingly, that they already have the power, or that they are already famous or about to become famous. They're really desirous of being extraordinarily special, extraordinarily lucky, living a luxurious life that just reflects on just the brilliance that they are, but you know, not saying that very well, but sorry. And they will act like they have got all the right credentials for this. So, you know, Lolo being a goddess and being the gatherer and that sort of thing. I mean, the more you just read about these subtle signs of the Dark Triad, I mean, you can just tick, 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 tick. And acting like they have access to a secret, that they're the ones with the knowledge. If they're caught in wrongdoing, they're definitely not going to admit it. And also about the secret access to knowledge, Dr. Grande was saying, look, you know, they like to use a lot of technical jargon, a lot of specialist words, and we find this with this group of the Chad and the Chatter and the Chadists and the Cult of the Gathered, don't we? You know, and Melanie, oh, and I called them a korahor. Oh God, you know, but they've got all their jargon. They really spit it out and they revel in it and they think they're special because of it, and they like you to not quite know what they're talking about. It's like the visions that someone might have, or the what do they call it, the when they get their own revelation and everything. You know, it's all about having one over on you. They are better. Yeah, so there's a little quick chat about Lori Cox Daybell and Dark Triad Traits. What do you reckon? You know, that lack of empathy, the entitlement, the grandiosity, really not caring about the lives of others, inflated belief in their abilities and their place in the world, all the superficial charm, you know, all the fantasies. Yeah. What do you reckon? Anyway, I'm uploading something that I recorded about, so I read part of a book by Lauren E. Pedersen. It's called Dark Hearts, the Forces That Shape Men the Unconscious Forces That Shape Men's Lives. And I read out chapter 6, Man the Slayer. Very interesting about sociopathy. Sociopathy? Oh my gosh, who am I? In relation to the Chad and Chad Daybell. So I just wanted to put out some musings on Lori just to see what you guys think, and then I'm uploading something that just made me really muse about Chad and where his head's at. Yeah. See you later.